And LinkedIn for us, for real estate agents, is really three things. It's their CRM, their prospecting list, and their icebreaker. Chris skipped this morning.
That was supposed to be here this morning. I'm so embarrassed.
It's all good, buddy.
Okay, well, we're going a little cold. It's Monday morning, and this is the hashtag Talk to JV show. And I'm here with Don Robinson from Lazant Real Estate. And I'm excited for this one, Don. We've known each other for a couple years now. You helped us get this office.
You bet, yeah.
And I thought you were perfect for the show because it translates to a lot of the things we do. And I think it translated a lot to real estate, which you're in.
Sure. So sounds good.
Give me the cliff notes. Give me your story.
Okay, so background-wise, I started as an entrepreneur, much like yourself. I was a contractor for many years. Everything from home renovation projects all the way up to some smaller commercial stuff. I really found my calling in flipping houses. That's where I got my start. You'd go in, tear a house apart, nice, clean it up, and make some cash. Until we had one that we didn't make so much cash, and the realtor still got paid. And I thought, hey, that's never happening to me again.
Gotcha.
So from there, got the license and just gravitated towards the commercial market. I find it a lot more steady than the residential market, which is definitely cold in Edmonton right now. Commercial, we've just been trucking right through this whole recession.
So why is that? Because you've told me that before, and I think that I can see that residential and the home market's slowing. We can see that there's an influx of more properties available. Why is it that commercial keeps going strong no matter what market it is?
Well, I'll tell you, I still classify it as a tenant to buyer's market out there in the commercial world. But as far as the volume of transactions, we're actually up. Last year we had more transactions than we did in 2014, and I think the reason for that is people need to house their businesses, and whether you're upsizing, which during the good times, I mean, there's nothing more fun than upsizing and getting more space, but the economic reality is there's a lot of downsizing going on in Alberta. There's a lot of people who are streamlining their operations. What they used to accomplish with 20,000 square feet and a 4-acre yard space, they're squeezing into an 1.5 acres and 10,000.
I find with my clients right now, and a lot of people that we're talking to, everyone's trying to find ways to diversify now. Right now, oil and gas industry is down. It could come back, it might not. But with diversification, what do you think clients are doing right now to try to develop for the next 10 years and take Alberta forward?
Great question. It's really industry specific, I would say. Everything from innovative research, in the oil and gas markets. Something more basic like a mom and pop shop that's open on the corner selling Slurpees. They're branching out. They're offering more services. We're seeing some.
We're adapting.
Exactly, they're adapting, and that's one thing I'll say for Alberta and Albertans is they've always been great at that. We just take the punches and keep on rolling. So really good example, actually. There's a space that I had recently was leasing out for a mechanic. Yeah. So this gentleman had been in there for many years, lifts, the tools, the whole nine. Market hits the skids and his client base is drying up. He's 68 years old and not wanting to do it anyway. So we go out to market trying to find someone to take over his business. Well, that guy's not out there right now today. So what we ended up doing with that is smaller independent users who are coming in and renting by the hoist, right? So a very creative way to deal with this space that this gentleman, he didn't know anything on it. He's been operating there forever and ever. The equipment's all paid for. So to be able to go in and generate some revenue off that, and he still gets to go to the beach.
Finding new ways.
Finding new ways.
People are finding new ways. They're going back to school. They're learning new things, and they're finding ways to be resilient in this market. And I love it because it's going to set Alberta up for the next 10 years and beyond. We can't get stuck on oil and gas. I think a lot of people still are, but I think it's not time to move on. It's still there, and it's still an important part of Alberta, but we still need to try to innovate and find new ways to do those things.
At least until the next federal election. I guess
that'll make it in, Don. We'll make that one in. Okay, so what social platforms are you on? Are you on any social platforms right now?
You know what? Social platforms, a little bit.
Yeah.
As a sales guy, I'm certainly supposed to be. You know, the basic ones, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, stuff like that. No, it's something that I need to be cognizant of and be better at.
I like debating LinkedIn with real estate agents because we find LinkedIn to be a super powerful tool. Do you use it to its capability, or what do you do with LinkedIn?
I'd say certainly I don't use any social media to its full capability, as much as I try to. You know, we'll send out the odd blast. Oh, here's this space we've got for lease, or this shop over here, and I'll throw it out there to the network.
Yeah.
You know, my LinkedIn network is certainly larger than my Facebook network, right? But with my personal friends and family and that. So yeah, I do find it to be useful, and people seem to be shopping online and more comfortable shopping online more than ever. So it is something that I'd love to find a better balance with. I personally struggle with knowing, you know, how often to bombard it. You know, what are people looking for? Because it's got to come quick, and it's, you know, got to come with what regularity.
We're gonna get to it because I know we have your quote later, and we believe in offering that value out through social media. And LinkedIn for us, for real estate agents, is really three things. It's their CRM, their prospecting list, and their icebreaker. And it's all on one platform, and you can sit in your office and do it. You can lay in bed in the morning and do it. You can utilize it at any point in time when utilized properly. And I still find it's underutilized, but I think a lot of the agents out there, and yourself included, based on what you just said, are going after finding people, going out and networking, getting your touch points that way. What we try to do is then translate that back to creating touch points online as much as you can. And that's what we go and debate all the time. At the end of the day, everything works put together. You can have a billboard on the side of the road, you can go out and network, you can do online posts, but you've got to create as many touch points as possible and make sure people remember who you are. We go and we say, I want you to tell me if I'm on point here or if I'm off kilter. When dealing with real estate, we always pitch three things. One is find attention. Second is create value, and the last is timing. So let's take me as an example. We had met 4 or 5 years ago, and you had created, you had met with me, you were on a listing, we had met a whole bunch of times, you created a whole bunch of touch points and created a whole bunch of tension around us. The next thing was value. You offered a ton of value to us. You gave us all the information on the area. You showed us what was going on. You gave us everything that we needed to know. The last was timing. For this property here, it took 3 years before we were ready to move to another office.
Right.
And we translate that across the real estate industry, whether it's residential or commercial. If you can do those three things, if you can create attention, create the touch points, if you can create a ton of value across the board, and then translate that into timing. The average person in residential buys a home every 7 to 10 years. And that means that if you make a touch point today, if you go meet someone at a networking event today, they might not buy from you for 10 years. But at the same time, 1 out of 10 of those people would buy from you tomorrow. So if you create that cycle, then that's I guess how we try to pitch, translating that into your marketing presence.
Sure.
And I like that. So what do you think of that? Is that on point, or?
Yeah, I think so. You know, for me, number one, I'd probably put timing right at the top of the list. You know, the touch points are great. I know that on the residential side, everybody's dealt with that residential realtor who puts you on his mailing list, and you get the drip marketing, right?
Yeah.
That you know those constant.
Not
emails.
a lot of value in that all the time.
I don't see it. You know, we don't have anything like that in the commercial world. Every email I sent is one that I'm sitting in my office and writing to a client. You know, and because of that, you have to be very focused in who gets that attention, right? So it can be quite challenging to continue to touch point with, you know, guys like yourself. I mean, when you and I first met 3 or 4 years ago, you know, we did our deal, got you sorted out
Yeah.
that way, and then moved forward and on to the next one.
Yeah.
And you know, for me, I'm glad I was able to provide that value to you throughout that first process.
Yeah,
but
you crushed it.
Yeah, cheers. But the timing part of it comes from you, right? You know, I want to make sure I'm available to you. I want to make sure that I'm reaching out once a year, Christmas, what have you, as best as I can, without being, you know, a really, what do I say here? A really true sales guy, you know, the sense of the word, where I'm sending you a poinsettia at Christmas, right? I just want you to know I'm still alive, Jared. That's the goal.
Create those touch points. And I mean, okay, well, this is a good segue into your quote here. So take us through your quote.
Sure.
What it means to you and why you selected that one.
Okay. So nobody likes to be sold to, but everybody likes to buy. So why did I select this quote? For me, my personal mantra when I'm doing real estate sales is that I'm not going to sell anybody anything. That's the God's honest. As the best salesman in the world can't make somebody spend several $1 million on a building that they don't want.
Yeah.
So what I try to do is simply help people buy. You know,
I love it.
All the timing and everything else is all there, but you know, you touched on it. My job is to provide information, market research, show you your options, take you through those options, make it as easy as I can for my clients to go out into the marketplace, see what's out there, and make a decision. You know, certainly along the road, there's times when my expertise comes into play, because I do, you know, I don't know, 40 to 50 transactions a year. You know, I know where the market's at. So if a landlord's trying to, you know, strong arm you on a lease, or a seller of a building is asking a little more than it's worth, or trying to posture, you know, I've got some background knowledge and some market knowledge that I can apply in most situations, and help get my clients A, the building they want, and B, the best deal they can get. But I have yet to get somebody something for free. So, you know, I'm not that good yet, but you know, you can't sell somebody anything, right? You just show it to them and let them make the decisions for themselves.
I love it. We pitch that all the time. At the end of the day, value always trumps. If you don't have value, if you're not offering value, you have no ROI. We believe in that, and I think that we look at translating that throughout those three things I talked about: the attention, the value, and then taking it across and making sure that everyone is timed in the right manner throughout your cycle. So, okay, Don, quick round.
Okay.
Let's get off of the business for a second. Mexico or Hawaii?
For me, it's Mexico.
Okay.
I like a little bit of lawlessness. Mexico's great for that. And hey, your dollar goes a little further in Mexico, so you can stay longer.
Have you done a lot of travel?
I've done a fair bit of travel,
Fair
yeah.
bit?
Yeah, I've done throughout Europe, Australia for a year. I lived overseas. And then I've been to Mexico.
For anyone that hasn't traveled yet, that's in university and wants to get out, what do you recommend when you went to Australia, when you did those things? What do you recommend is the most valuable thing that they can take from that? And should they do it or shouldn't they?
Oh, 100% do it. I learned more in my travels abroad. I learned more doing that for 6 months or a year, depending on the trip, than I ever did in university. You just get exposed to, you learn people is what you learn when you're out on the road. And every business is about people, even real estate, right? Yes, I'm selling bricks and mortar, but the people are the ones that drive it. You know, social media, running a sandwich shop, it's all the same thing. It's all people. So when you're out on the road, that's what I learned, is how to deal with everybody, how to, you know.
And translates to every aspect of business.
It really does, yeah, it really does. When you can put yourself in a room with a stranger and, you know, converse with them, build a relationship from there, that will serve you better than a doctorate, in my opinion. Not that I could have got a doctorate.
Fair enough, fair enough. All right, you said you're on a couple platforms. Instagram?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so Facebook or Instagram, which do you prefer, and why?
Which for me? I know Instagram's the popular answer. Everybody loves Instagram. I'm a Facebook guy, and it's what and why, because Fuck, I don't have a good answer for that one. I don't know, man. I don't know. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I think right now, I think it's split for us. I mean, we've been asking a lot of people this question, and Instagram's very popular because it's so visual, and Facebook is still the biggest platform. It sells the most people. For us, it still gives you as a real estate agent, it gives you selling commercial ability to offer your value for the lowest price touch points. Giving you the lowest or the cheapest advertising dollars. So I think it's split right now, so it's not bad. What about your favorite hobby outside of selling commercial?
Outside of selling commercial real estate, favorite hobby is probably woodworking, construction.
Yeah. Well, you started there.
I started there. I still enjoy it. You know, try to take on a couple of projects around the house. You know, every year. We're always under construction at my household, but you know, that's what I love doing. So I guess I'll just keep at it and try to make money a different way.
Fair enough. Last one: Apple or Android?
Apple.
Apple. See, that's what I like. I like that. Q's not. We're gonna have this in a couple of them because we're asking that to everyone, and right now I'm hard Apple. Everyone else in the office. There's a couple Androids. We're trying to convert them.
Android for me is just too, like, I get it. You've made this very robust operating system and I can change anything I want. I don't really want to spend my day on my phone. I already spend it on my phone, on emails and everything else. I just want it to work, be easy, and Apple does that.
Nice. Well, thank you, Don. Let's call her there. And
Sure.
The next time we need an office, the next time we're getting a little bigger, the timing will be there, and we're going to give you a call.
Awesome, man. Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah.